On this episode of Poptography, I'm not only going to show you how I created this image of Darth Maul number 647, but I'm also going to show you how to create the lightsaber effect. Hi, and welcome to Poptography. My name's Patrick, and today we're going behind the scenes of how I created the image of Darth Maul number 647, which is a New York Comic-Con exclusive from 2023. So this one was a really cool Funko Pop. It had the Darth Maul with those little metal robot kind of legs, very similar to General Grievous. And if you saw the Clone Wars, it's a really cool kind of telling of how Darth Maul came back with Mother Talzin's Night Sister magic and everything to restore, giving him some legs as opposed to the spider body he was kind of attached to. So if you haven't seen that, please take a moment. You can pause this video and come back to it, but definitely watch that episode or story arc in Clone Wars. It's really, really cool. But anyway, back to the image. So what we wanted to do is a few things. First, we wanted to create a virtual volume. So we used two things. We used a little piece of practical, which I used this kind of rock kind of formation and kind of like walk through, if you know, like if you will, cave-like looking thing, which is nothing more than something from a fish tank. I think we picked up at Walmart for like $10, $15. So we added that again to give a little more depth. It's going to be slightly out of focus being behind, and then we're going to add our virtual volume backdrop, which is nothing more than an image here that we got from Adobe Stock. So I really like the contrast of the orange and part of the sky and the blue, and it's very kind of stormy. So I thought it'd make great for an image all together when you put all the combined pieces. So with that, we used a 5-light lume cube setup plus one additional LED. So the first thing I did after I put Darth Maul on the set and we got our virtual volume all set up with, you know, how the distances needed to be and everything for the depths of field, the first thing I did is I added another LED light off to the right side of the set, and you'll see that's just kind of filling in and kind of adding some more drama to the rock. So it had a little more contrast going on. You can get light through the cracks and stuff and create some shadow. It actually falls off too onto Darth Maul, which adds a nice little kind of rim light, if you will, how it spills onto him. So I kind of liked where the placement of that LED was. So I kind of started with that. Then we added our 5-light lume cube setup on that. So the first light we started with is because he has those legs, and I really want to make that a highlight of this image. So we started with some diffusion on his snoot, and we have that light aiming right towards Darth Maul's metal legs. Really want to get some shine on that. It had a metallic paint finish, so I knew it would look kind of nice. The second light we added is actually diffused with barn doors, and that's coming from the back left side of Darth Maul, acting more as a rim light. So you'll see how it's kind of hitting the side of his head plus his body, and it gives a little more definition to his hands holding a lightsaber there. So I really liked how it did that. So the next light we added after that is the red for the lightsaber. So we put a red gel in a snoot and had that aiming so that it not only hit where Darth Maul was holding the lightsaber, but also kind of making it directional and really selling the lighting of the lightsaber. So you'll see some of that coming up just above his chin on his cheek, and it, you know, it hits in his chest and everything where the lightsaber it predominantly is, and you'll see some of that light will cast down onto the legs and really give some realism for that situational lighting of the lightsaber in the image. So the next light we added was a fill light. And so that fourth lume cube is diffused with a little globe on top, and I kept that really low. I wanted the lighting from all the other angles, carving him out to be, you know, really what shapes him. But I wanted a little more light in the front so that it wasn't just flat and kind of went into total darkness. I gave it just a little pop of light there just to add something back into the face there. Then for our fifth and final lume cube, what I did is I added a lume cube with some warming gels with a little globe on the top. Put that on the boom, and we position that just above Darth Maul's head in a way that it gives situational lighting of the orange glow in the backdrop. So it really kind of helps sell it. And really kind of puts Darth Maul into his setting, if you will, and it really helps create that image. So this is what we got for our final image here before we brought it into Photoshop. Now today, I'm actually going to do something a little special. We're going to go behind the scenes a little more in depth today into Photoshop of how I created the actual lightsaber.
Galaxy once. I was destined to become so much more, but I was robbed of that destiny by the Jedi, by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
In this section, I was asked by my toy photography group, the Toy Photography Collective, if I'd participate. A bunch of us are actually creating videos on how to create the lightsaber effect. So I shot a new image last night that I thought would be perfect to demonstrate how I do that. So the first thing is, we brought this image into Photoshop. You can see we captured great exposure and everything, but we want to tweak it. We want to give it a little more drama, a lot more saturation. I like a lot more contrast as well. I have a spot here that I'll need to edit because it got the edge of my monitor, my virtual volume. So we'll just do a generative fill. And I've already gone ahead and done this, fully did the whole image last evening, but I wanted to redo and show you how to create the lightsaber effect, and we're going to do that together. So I'll first show you how we did the hue, saturation, all that, and what that turned out to be. So you can see here's the original, and here is the retouched. So you can see we got rid of that area in the corner here, as well as it's just got a lot more color saturation, a lot more vibrant. So that was really a real big push. So the next piece that we want to do was add a little fog or mist. And you know, if you've ever watched Clone Wars and you saw how Darth Maul got his metal legs, you'd understand. So what we're going to do is going to add a little layer with some green fog and stuff like that. So it's really, really cool. All right, so what we want to do next is we want to add a little glow to his eyes. So kind of similar, I created a little layer that was yellow and opaque and gave it some Gaussian blur, and that's how we got the glow in his eyes. All right, now I told you we did build the lightsaber, but I'm going to build that with you guys right here, right now, so that you can get a better understanding of how to do this on your own. So the first thing is we're going to create a new layer. All right, so on layer 1, and we want to make sure our color palette is selected black and white. You can click on that there and it turns into black and white if you had it in different colors. And we're going to switch it so white's on top because we're going to want to paint with that. We're going to get our paintbrush out, and I'm going to zoom into the image a little bit here. Now, you can control how big or wide the brush is by just playing with the brackets, or in Photoshop you can come up here and play with your size as well in that little option window, a little heads-up display. So I'm going to make this not quite the thickness of the lightsaber because I don't want it to be too thick. Even though it is Funko, I'm gonna go just a little bit thinner, something more like this, and I'm gonna go right to the base, and I'm gonna click, boom, and I've got my first little dot. Now the trick, we want to create a straight line, and an easy way in Photoshop is to hold Shift and then put your cursor at the end here. We're going to make that just a little bit longer than the actual one he's holding, and there we go. So that click, Shift, and then clicking again created a nice straight line on that first layer here. So that's our layer for our lightsaber. Next, I'm going to go to my arrows, and all I'm going to do is duplicate this 6 times. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now we've got 6 layers there. I'm going to start with the first layer. And what I'm going to gradually do is start with a high amount of blur and start bringing that down. And that'll also help create the glow around the lightsaber and any glow or lighting that might affect the subject. So we'll start with that first. So we're going to start with the very top layer. of all the ones we just made copies of. I'm going to say Gaussian blur, and I'm going to say 600. And I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to say filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I'm going to say 400. Go to the next one. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we're going to do 200. And we're going to keep continuing down this whole list here. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and 100. And you see it's even getting brighter around Darth Maul's chest and everything, where that lightsaber is, so you kind of really see as you're doing it how the lighting will really affect your figure, or Funko Pop in this case. And here we're going to go filter, Gaussian blur, blur, filter, Gaussian blur, and go 50. 100. Now we're going to the next layer, blur, Gaussian blur, and we're going to do 25. And then the last one, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, let's try 10. I think that looks good. All right. So we can see we've added that, and it's kind of got this, white glow. It kind of looks kind of more like Ahsoka's kind of glow from her lightsabers. And we're going to do two things. So we're going to combine all these layers together. So I'm going to start with that. So the sixth one that I made, down to this one, and layers, and we're going to say merge all those. So now we got them all merged into one. And then the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to create another new layer, and I'm going to go to my color palette, and I'm going to click on the black and white so that the black's automatically at the top, and I'm just going to hit my paint bucket, and drop that over. So you can see the other layers that we still have in there, the glowing eyes and the fog and mist. And I'm going to drag this layer now underneath our lightsaber that we just did. I'm going to layer merge that down. So I'm merging the layers of the lightsaber glow down onto that black layer. And just for now, I'm just going to hide the eyes and our fog or whatnot. So now we've got this nice layer here over top. Now, because it's black, we want to see through it. So the easy way to do that, we're going to go to layer style, blend options, and we're going to simply go to screen. So basically it's going to screen anything that's dark and black, and we're going to see in the light. So that's why we're seeing the lightsaber. We're going to do another step, and we're going to go to image, adjustments, hue and saturation. And again, there's different ways you can do this. I've done this by playing with curves, playing with the red, green, and blue channels. This is one of the easiest ways I find. It's just coming up here, going to colorize, and then I can start playing with the saturation right here. And knowing it's red, I don't even need to do anything because it's already on the red. So I'm just gonna bring that saturation all the way up. Looks good to me. And now we can add our other pieces back in. So we'll add our little green fog. We got our glowing eyes. And last but not least, I have my watermark. So that's how we created our lightsaber effect here in Photoshop. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little tutorial. And if you did, please hit the like, definitely hit the subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode of Poptography. Until then, may the force be with you.